Hello everybody, I hope you're having a nice day, and today I'm just making a quick little video roughly covering the D-Day Sword Beach, and my thoughts, ideas, and all that happy stuff, just to kind of help you out if you're struggling. First things first is you spawn in, and what I call it is a turkey shoot, because essentially you just move forward and shoot stuff. My little preferred spot is right here behind this little hill, and that's because everything's going to get spotted, some of your teammates are pushed forward and whatnot. And I'm so far out of. I have a couple vehicles suited for the challenge mission, and I've been preferring the Achilles, and that's literally because I've yet to unlock the Challenger. Those seem to be the two most popular, along with some of the Churchill type tanks. But I like the Achilles, decent penetration, nice damage, and good mobility. The AT-7 and the AT-8 are also kind of viable, just they're slow unless someone helps you get across this beach and up that hill. You miss some fun. You miss a good chunk of action. But pretty much for this part of the mission, just kind of sit here and shoot some stuff. Okay, and we've moved on up a little bit. I do like to hug the left side, and I can sit on top of one of these hills. The chances of you getting spotted and shot at are very slim, but not out of the question. And pretty much the next little half of the turkey shoot, there are some tank destroyers sitting far back on the hill up top, and those are pretty much the only ones of note. Like, there's one of them, there's a couple of them that'll be spotted. And one thing I do like to do is I'll use the auto aim feature, which will help me snap onto a tank. Not doing it right now, of course, but I'll use the auto aim and then I'll do the last bit of it manually. And with the tank destroyers in the mission, if you're new to the game, try to shoot to the left or right of the cannon. I tend to prefer the right side because the gun itself on the Stugs and whatnot tend to be a little bit more to the left, so that gives you a bigger spot to shoot, and there's a viewport there that tends to be a weak spot and easier to penetrate. For those Yag Panthers and stuff, some of you might have trouble, which is why I picked the Achilles. Its final gun, I think, has an average of 200 for penetration value. And then, just moving on up, I like to jump over this hill, use my momentum, scoot down on the right side of this little hill here, and then up to the cliff. Okay, and we are getting up to the hill, and we're going to be doing my favorite little thing for choke points and moments like this where there's a lot of enemies from areas, and that is kind of secluding myself off. There's a nice little handy-dandy rock in front of me. I can use that to get to just one enemy, or one or two enemies at a time. It helps if you don't shoot the rock, and I can slowly poke out and choose how many targets can engage me. I do that here and a couple other spots. I'll try to remember to mention it, but just a nice little food for thought thing. And if you've gotten this far along, comment down below if you have any questions or ideas and stuff. This event, I don't know how long it's going to be. Typically it's a week, but kind of another tool that we can all communicate and get this mission down pat and speed run it, if you will. Moving from there, I like to scoot around the left side of that wall, pop behind this little lighthouse building is, because again, I can separate myself from the enemies. I can choose how many can interact with me. Granted, any on the right flank there can shoot me in the butt, but I haven't dealt with that way too much. One thing I will say, at this point, you're probably running low on ammunition. As you do some objectives, some ammo spots will pop up as I get shot in the butt. And I really don't bother with those. They're one-shot use onlys, and they're in weird locations. So my favorite thing is to pretty much blow up. I time that way too perfectly. And that's pretty much because you have infinite respawns. There's no real penalty other than the 10-second cooldown. And look at that, full health. All my kits and stuff are back, and I have full ammo, which I will say, I'm not bothering with high explosive or premium. There's enough stuff here for everybody to shoot. And enemy tanks are constantly respawning, so there's never a shortage. Typically, I will say on this side, I haven't had too much luck pushing into the town. There's some other allies and stuff that'll push, but it does not mean I do not participate in town. Right here, I drove past it, is a nice little hidey hole, and guess what? You can separate yourself and choose your engagements. It's a nice little nook for one tank, And what I do is use it to shoot across into the town and get rid of pillboxes and anything that might be spotting or giving those guys pushing into the town a problem. There's some more stuff to the left. Other teammates are usually dealing with that. I want my team to push into that town, take that command point, and move on to the next objective, because I'm trying to do this as fast as possible to get to the Tigers. There's 2 missions right now. You have to do X amount of damage to them over any course of number of battles. I want to get to those with as much time so the team and I have plenty of time to deal with them, which we'll get to those a little bit later on. But essentially, I'm just choosing targets, and one thing I will say, if you are looking at someone and they disappear, by all means, keep shooting. The AI right now, it's fluctuated over the years, but this one is the one I call a dumb AI. If it doesn't have a reason to move or do something, probably not going to. I've even seen a few tanks there's too many targets, so they're jumping back and forth between multiple people on the green team, and they don't fire or do anything. So keep shooting until you stop getting hit at icons or they blow up. But after that, you can pull forward a little bit and choose your target some more. And I will put it in a little bit later, but I'm low on health, I'm low on ammo. I do a fun little cliff dive at the end of this area. Wait, no wait. Am I? Here's the cliff dive, and kaboom. I wanted health and ammo. It was a lull in battle. I wasn't gonna have too much work to do without relocating. So, reload. And the reload's tossing weird spots, and here's my next favorite thing. We have I think they're called bunkers. I don't know, my little view screen is too small for me to read them. But essentially, big old cannons. Depending on which way that gun's pointing, there's 2 little squarey spots. That's where you're gonna aim. That gun's pointing to the left, so I'm aiming for the square spot on the right. If the gun points towards the right, I aim for the one on the left. Those seem to be the 2 weak spots. I personally haven't really looked into it, but I haven't had too much trouble penetrating them with my Achilles or a couple other tanks I've been using. I've been using the Jackal and whatnot, but the Achilles and Challenger seem to be the 2 popular ones. And the best part is, they're both free if you played the game long enough. If you just downloaded it, I'm sorry. But I blew up. And back to the pillbox. Not pillboxes, bunkers. And that's because there's 3 of them. I want to whittle down their health as fast as possible, so I'm locked in on them. Unless there's something that demands my attention, those are 10 out of 10. I'm shooting at them until they're gone. And that's just because enemy tanks keep respawning. You're never going to have a shortage of those. It's the objectives, you kind of have to pick and choose when to go at them. And just because you can't see the bunker doesn't mean you can't shoot it. It just means it's not detected and it can't move. As the mission progresses and stuff, I do like this left side of the cliff face. There's a lot of concealment stuff. I got good accuracy, and I will show you why in 2 seconds, because we are about to get into the Tiger engagement, but there's plenty of rocks where I can shoot at enemy tanks and deal with them and get more hit points. And this is the important part. It's either going to be the Black Baron Tiger 2 or the squadron of 3 Tiger tanks that spawn in here. And these are the mission objective ones where you have to do X amount of damage over any course of the battle. I try to track and stuff. With the Tiger 2, you don't have the best penetration. With the Tigers, you don't have the best penetration either. I try not to do the front. I try to shoot the sides, the back, the weak points. And that's why I like this little cliff face. 1, you're a little bit farther away, so you're not likely to beat the target, but you can just push straight on down all the way up to the wall of the little enemy fuel base depot airport thing, and that gets you some nice side and back profiles of the enemy tanks. With the Tiger 1 tanks, typically 1 stays in the base. I tend not to favor that one just because it's always fun frontal facing, and 2 will push out and they have random stupid AI patterns. But there's plenty of rocks to hide behind. You can push forward. As you can see here, there's a tank that demands my attention. And back to the objective, which the Tiger, unless you aim for weak spots, try and shoot it in the side, preferably the back. Same thing with the Tiger tanks. I have tried a couple of times to no success to track the vehicles. I'm not sure if they changed something special about these guys just because of them being a mission objective, but I don't see why not they wouldn't be able to be tracked. I have had no success in tracking them. And shout out to the Cromwell for just distracting him via donuts. And pretty much once this guy's blown up, I just slip into the base. I'll farm some kills and stuff that I can, but at this point you're usually low on time, and we have just under 3 minutes to get rid of the 6 fuel barrels, which you can do when the tiger's out. Just I'm focusing on him because he's an objective. I need to do damage to him for a mission. Once the mission's done, he's not going to be that interesting to me. I might help the team if they're struggling to kill the tiger's tanks, or I might just focus on the other tanks to keep them off those people still trying to do that mission. But at this point, pretty much suicide run into the base and just shoot the fuel. I'm low on health. I think I'll take half a hit and I'll be a nice little explosion of ammunition, but tends not to last long enough. I would like to shout out to whatever the hell just bounced off the Achilles, because this thing's pretty much made out of paper mache. But that's pretty much the mission. If you have any comments and stuff down below, um, I have my regiment info. If as long as you're not toxic and you're cool, I really don't care who joins for those people trying to work on the coins and stuff, or however that works. Until next time, bye.